It's like, your stream summary's ready. I was like, oh.
Might have been offline for a while.
And, the screen blacked out.
Alright.
I kind of want to cover up in some way. I have a lot of battle damage on me. Example A is I have brass here, here, and here from a snake fucking grabbing me.
Kinsey will find a way to make sure you are well taken care of. Whatever you kind of desire for the design, I'm sure she could come up with something. And the clothes afterwards are for you to keep.
Fancy clothes.
I will see you tonight.
Thank you.
Allah bless you.
Allah bless you.
Well, I think we should go see Kinsey.
Yeah. Anything hungry?
Not a very good idea.
Get up, grab some food off the table. Let's go.
I'm getting sick of these bland brown robes.
Yeah, those are pretty brown and bland. Just grab one for the room.
Do you want me to grab 2 for you, just in case you finish those?
Put these in the bag.
You should take
Oh god, I'm just gonna forget they're in there. No.
What?
I'm pretty sure we still had fish in that bag. So
I think we do, yeah.
Yeah, don't pull it out, it's gonna be taken out.
Fish. Yep.
Bone. And a little bit of a head that's like dripping slime.
And
Don't.
No,
No,
please don't.
You can have
The
it.
bones are calcium. What?
All yours.
They'll get stuck in your throat.
It's mine.
And you're too big for us to help.
You're right.
I am free to the fine. You got it.
Did it hit anyone?
When you throw it, you get up. And then
Hey!
look back. It's just like sliding down the wall.
Sorry.
It's okay, I will clean it.
Thank you.
Nara walks over.
The power has gone to my head. I don't know what to do.
Make it stop by not throwing fish at the wall.
Sorry. It's been in my bag for a while.
It is fine. It is fine.
Are you sure?
We're working on it.
Alright. Is there anything you guys need?
No, we're about to leave.
Alright. I will. Okay. She walks over to the table and starts cleaning it up a little bit.
Oh. Just grab it.
He eats a lot.
He's a growing boy. Don't shame him.
I'm not shaming anything.
You don't want to stay distracted.
He's gonna keep up his protein. What do you think? He just takes bites out of his enemies.
You have
Alright.
13 athletics.
Hell yeah.
You do?
You guys get into
That's
the royal temple. You now are looking at these separate corridors that are actually in the temple that you have not noticed before. There is this stairway that leads up to that war room that is beside this hallway that leads back towards that dining hall you were told about. You haven't been back there though. To the left, there's this kind of very rigid doorway that leads to more area, and then on the right side, there's another hallway much like that. You take the left kind of path, as you were told. Once you get over there, it is this actually kind of dome-shaped room, although the temple itself is rigid and built like this. It's kind of been shaved and carved away and made into this large... the room itself is not like any specific room. It's not like this is like a living room or some sort of a study or anything like that. It's just this room that has several different things within it that are used for other purposes. You can look over and see that there is a some sort of an armoire that has clothes within there. There is the tailoring kind of stuff that's going on over here. There is some sort of a spot over back towards the side where you can see there is this actual large, almost what looks like some sort of a like hookah machine, but it's not a machine obviously, it's just like a normal like hookah. That is over on the corner. This room actually looks more like a lounging area of some sorts that just has like little stuff.
Is there like giant pillows on the ground and stuff?
They're not like huge pillows or anything, but there are like these nice kind of fur sofas that are on the sides. Make your way over and can see that there is this kind of standing upright, very proper Bengarran woman. Her fur is this very, very jet black color. She has these very, very dark, like yellow, kind of piercing eyes. Her ears are covered in like earrings. She has a very, very ornate necklace on that has this kind of brighter colored green gem in it. Her clothing is this very, very nice, deep purple, long dress that kind of flows behind her a good 2 feet. So, you are the Keepers? I'm Kinsey. It is good to meet you and have the pleasure of adoring you with fine garments. To start, Bengarran friend here. Your name?
Moldrek.
Moldrek. Alright. She kind of quickly writes Moldrek. So Moldrek, as she's pushing her arms up and then doing some measurements and stuff, what are you looking for to be wearing?
You know, I'm gonna leave that up to you.
She puts her arms down a little bit and then measures the length of each arm. Goes towards the
Do
side.
something really cool.
Something really cool. Alright.
Whatever you think would look stylish.
Something maybe traditional?
Sure.
It's the only one.
I'm gonna take her quilt. You can see she's writing in Bengarran on this piece of paper. She kind of walks over. It is a pleasure. I am Kinsey.
I am Skip. It's nice to meet you.
You are pleasant. I enjoy that. For you, what could I do?
I don't normally wear garments, as you can tell.
She kind of looks down. He looks back up.
I don't.
Sweet metal turns red.
Beat red.
Right. I don't.
Are you heating up?
I don't know anything about them, except for this game.
That did not help me very much, if I'm being honest.
I'm sorry.
I do not know if you want some form of pants or legging of some sort, or I could do some form of maybe a front shawl that extends a little further, or a shawl that kind of goes over the top with a cape connected, leggings attuned to it.
Sure.
I will come up with something.
Thank you.
She kind of looks over at Ender.
Child
will be
clothes will
fast,
work.
don't worry.
She tells the team measure.
For you.
Connor.
Nice to meet you. What can I do for you?
Some new set of ropes.
A set of ropes. Alright.
These brown is a little too dull. We used to have some blue ones. Those were destroyed.
Would you like the color to be blue?
Maybe let's go with red. Blue accents.
With blue accents?
Yes.
Alright, very well.
Changing it up.
And for you?
I am Worm, and I trust your judgment. Just my only preference is something blue as well.
Very well. Alright. You're more than welcome to sit within the lounge here and wait.
Hell yeah,
while I
I'm
do the
fucking
filler.
wait on that couch.
There are refreshments and food that will be brought inside. There is a very, very large deer that has been slain this morning, very fresh. They have actually been slow roasting it since this morning, so it will be just falling off of the bone. If you need any entertainment or anything, there are dancers and there are some musicians that are around if you would like that.
We're staying here.
All the detail before made me hungry.
I will begin. She kind of just goes over towards the side, takes Ander, and begins measuring and
some child's
cutting up
clothes.
some cloth and things like that.
Small child piece of clothing that will work. It is traditional.
It's like one of those little sailor outfits, you know, like
Good.
it's walks around like
Playing D&D, Dad.
Yeah.
Storming the temple.
Storm in the temple!
the message.
Okay, but we have hamburgers there.
We have hamburgers.
We have hamburgers.
Okay, let's liar!
Yeah, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there.
Oh, the temple. Fuck.
You were there for that, right? It's fucking great.
Well, I made hamburgers 2 months ago.
Okay, that's fucking peak wholesome right there.
Starving a temple.
Same. Fucking nerd.
She just said
My friend bought a bag of holding, like the actual like side handle bag, and it came in the mail, and his mom was just like, "Alan, yeah, I know what that is, you nerd." Yeah, she's like, "I know what a bag of holding is, you nerd."
I've had them for like 8 years. It's falling apart.
That's middle school.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Reach a new one.
I mean, ThinkGeek, if you're out there, I've had that one for like 8 years. It's
Sponsor
falling
us.
apart. Hit me up. One of the clasps was like the opposite clasp, so it never even worked.
Fuck, really?
It was like the 2 out nubs instead of one of the in nubs and one of the out nubs.
In nubs.
Why?
Nubs. I've never heard anyone call them nubs.
It was like that from the factory.
Oh, factory default.
All right.
Defect. Default.
So,
Still a good
as
product.
you're all relaxing within here, food is brought out or into the room for you. It's this very, very like slow roasted, very, very like juicy meat. There's like a little bit of like seasoning on it. It's this very, very dark colored green clove that's just splattered all over everything with like bits of pepper in there or something. It's very, very good. Poja ale is brought into the room as well. You're able to just kind of sit back and start to relax and, you know, drink and kind of revel in this very, very pampered kind of lifestyle that you're able to enjoy in the moment.
This is the life I was meant for.
You do feel like a lot of your hard work has been, you know, kind of paid off, and you're able to have some form of appreciation and relax like this in this caliber. It has been a bit of a time before, you know, you've been able to really relax like this.
Polish myself.
You can still hear, like on the outside, the jungle and everything that is just kind of sitting there. Probably a good 7 or so hours pass of you guys just relaxing in here. Sometimes, you know, you may leave the temple and go out and do whatever. But after that 7 hours, you are now sitting within the room. Kinsey is there and has this kind of, I don't know what the hell they're called, but it's like like a divider, and then you know, go change on the other side. All right. Whoever wants to go first to put their clothing on, you may do so.
How?
You're
I walk in.
They're on the back. Your name is on it.
Oh, okay.
Which is
like a cape, but for the front.
once you get back there, you see there's like a hanger, or like this kind of like closet, like pole, with, like the clothes hanging on it. They're not like on a hanger, obviously.
Like on a hook or
They
something?
have there's just like string that's tied to the like through the actual like neck part of the clothing, and then it's tied onto the pole. Once you walk over and see like these small like pieces of paper that are written on them, they are all in Bengarran.
How's it going back there?
It's good. Yeah, right, tough. Hey, you want to come back here for a second, please?
You're already as naked as you can be, I may as well.
Thank you.
What's up?
You got stage fright, buddy?
No, because I can't.
They're funny.
No, those are scratches. I don't know what those are.
Whoa, that's racist.
Well, this one's yours.
Oh, hey, thanks. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm gonna grab mine.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me do that.
Sure. Possible.
Alright.
Thank you.
I'll walk back.
I'm gonna start putting it on.
Alright. Once you grab it, there are two separate pieces. It is like this, actually, kind of how your armor is, and you have like these very, very broad shoulders, and then the midsection kind of narrows to the bottom part. There is like on the midsection, it's almost like, it's not a kilt, it's just kind of like a half
Don't give Skip a kill.
like a half lower legging. It's just kind of like this flowing. I can't really describe this very well. Much like your top half is this very, very Roman kind of built, like a toga almost on the top, and then your cape kind of just clasps to the back of it. It's this kind of deep blue color that's on the front side, and it kind of bundles up a little bit in some spots, and then the bottom half just kind of matches that, and it all flows together. There's no like symbols or anything on it. It's just this very, very deep color. The cloth is very, very fine and nice and feels good on the metal. It covers like probably from, your upper left shoulder to the upper part of your kind of upper left stomach area or upper right stomach area. Just kind of flows down in that direction, and then your back's completely covered by the cape. And then probably from your your hips to above your knee, it just kind of flows and sways in that way, and that's completely covered as well. Kind of step out and look, and it's completely done up.
This is weird. I'm not going to lie.
Looks good. Kind of walks over and looks and picks up a little spot near the your lower leg, kind of grabs and lifts it up, and then does a quick little alteration and fix, and then pulls it tight.
I hate to be asking a bunch of you, but after everything is done, is there a chance that you could put something out of here for me?
Certainly.
I pull out my holy symbol just out of the thing. It's this symbol.
Alright.
On it later though. It doesn't have to be sometime.
I can do it before the dinner if you want, or
I would
after,
appreciate that.
You choose.
I would appreciate that.
Alright.
Thank you.
Just take the top half off and set it down, and I'll put it down there. Who wants to go try the clothing on next?
I think Moldrak does.
Okay, hold on.
Alright.
I'm just letting you guys
How much is
know.
a tux?
That one's me.
I'm just letting you guys know now. Those
It's on
tags.
mine, it's got crop top.
Guys, you didn't point it off.
Put on Anders.
It's just the neck hole. That's what you get. It's like a scarf.
So I don't believe that this woman really knows how to. I'm kind of whispering as in there. All of the tags are in Bengarran, so you might be able to know. I'm just telling you. So yeah, have fun.
How'd you
Just
get
look
back
for
there?
what we asked for.
I didn't ask for anything.
Yours immediately pops out to you. You notice that in the last few hours that they've actually been bringing furs in and some sort of cloth and other fabrics to make all of your guys' stuff. Excuse me. For you, it's this the lower half is these kind of fur leggings that only go right above your knee, and they're very, very thick too, near the thigh area, and then the back's just kind of this free-flowing light fur. You kind of just throw those on really quick, and you're like, okay, these are pretty nice. They're very basic and traditional, like she was saying. And then you take the top half, and you can feel weight to it. It's got there's some definite heft to the top half, and you kind of pull it out and are holding it. You can see it's this very, very thick fur shoulder pads that when you put them on actually sit equal with the middle part of your ear. There's these very, very intricate kind of designs that are actually embossed in the leather that are on the side. You see a claw for Malar on this side and a claw for Malar on this side, and they kind of actually near the top part of the the fingernails. They kind of grow and almost look like they're holding onto the shoulder pad. There's these hands that are just kind of on your shoulders, but they're claws instead. You kind of feel it and look over, and then you look down towards the neck piece and can see that there's this very, very low hanging piece that comes from it. There's this very, very fine brown thread that comes to a single claw that's just kind of hanging, that just kind of dangles there. The claw could be from just kind of looking at it, any number of things. It could be from a fallen Bengarran that's just kind of now sitting on there, kind of holding it there, and kind of hold it for a second, let it fall back down. Just kind of sit there and dangle a little bit, and it's weird to have there, so it's kind of moves out of the way. There's no there's no footwear or any gloves or anything like that. You kind of step out, and Moldrak looks even bigger than he did before, with the shoulder pads making him look bulky.
Yeah, I would have taken my armor off before that. Look, guys, check me out.
Oh. Ooh, a lot of shoulder pads.
Fancy.
All right.
get
Who is
up,
next?
go behind there. Find a robe.
Flex a little bit in the
You sure
mirror.
you're gonna be able to find it, dude? You can't read Bengarran.
There is 3 pieces though.
Yeah, but he literally said he wanted blue and red robes. Hit the...
Oh shit. Just keep doing this.
It should still be fine.
Probably turn off the speed feature.
As long as it's like red at the top instead of white, it's fine. Alright, Connor, you step back there. Once you get back, you can use comprehend languages if you want in order to read it. But it's very obvious which one.
Yeah, I
first.
wasn't
You
gonna
don't need to.
use it.
Yeah, you don't need to read anything. You take and kind of pull, untie it from the top and take it out. It also has a little bit of weight to it once you pull the actual robe out. The sleeves are very like wide and open, and they kind of like sit on the side, but not in a way where they're like floppy and all over the place. They seem very, very taut in the design that they're made. When you put the actual like robe on itself, you can feel that it's there is like some sort of like a fur lining on the inside that you can feel up against your skin, so it feels a little warm. The centerpiece is just kind of like this blue that goes down, and then there's red that goes over towards the sides. The shoulders actually like poke out a little bit, not too far, just like a little bit to where they're kind of popped up and not just like sitting on your shoulder. You can see that it's very, very basic of the Bengarran to kind of do this thing where they have this push button. Thank you. Where there's this almost like broadening to what they have on, like the shoulder pads get made larger, like near the legs are kind of bulked out, not near the robe leg, so that's all just kind of like flows down. There's this very, very deep red that is like the central color, but the blue is just kind of in the center right here. The shoulder pads themselves have like trim around them, and then the little sides on here. You can see like towards the tail end of it, it sits very well too, like it doesn't drag on the floor at all. It just sits probably a good, ½ inch to 2 inches above the ground, like from where your feet are, so you can see your actual feet underneath it. Sits down very well, you feel it, feels nice. It doesn't feel very like you don't feel like limber in it in any way, as you can feel the fur is just kind of like a little bit like getting used to, because it's a little heavier than just the normal very, very thin kind of cloth, but it feels very, very nice. You can step out.
Step out. Prestidigitation. Sparks.
Crazy! Looking good. Last but certainly not least.
I'm gonna go in there.
Alright.
Well, there's also Andrew.
As you walk in, you can see there is a just very, very like not like a shirt, but this tunic that's just kind of like the underpiece, and it's like this very, very soft kind of cloth, like cotton type of material that you put on. Then you take the second part and kind of put that over it. It's not really like a tuxedo, but it's a very, very nice over like a jacket in a way. And it's not really like a jacket, it's just this very, very heavy duty kind of shirt that goes over, and it just has like a button up in the front. And then there's a set of pants that kind of match it, but there's kind of deep kind of brown color that go with the very, very dark blue on top of it. These definitely seem like something you would just wear for like ceremonial purposes and not like
Every day.
underneath everyday type of like armor. Once you put it on, your chest kind of feels like it's a little like popped out in it, just because it's not tight, but it just fits very, very well and snug.
Compact.
Yeah, compared to like your armor that has like some space in it for movement and everything. You can feel your arms are a little like tight inside of it. This is very, very deep blue color for the kind of button up, like nice kind of dress shirt, but it's more heavy duty and kind of rugged. The actual like cuffs on the actual sleeves are lined with fur on the inside, and it's this very, very kind of light colored fur, so it goes very well with the deep blue color. There are a set of like kind of deep black leather shoes that are set on the side, so they're almost like dress shoes in a way. And then there's a belt that's in there too, so you kind of take all of that, put it on, kind of walk out. Your hair is like a little like crazy, and your beard is like a little unkempt.
I plan on seeing
and then you
something.
kind of walk over and stand out, and this is the first time you've really seen Orm in anything like this, and kind of like gives to some features that he has, and fits him very, very well.
Like
As for Andrew, whatever he tells me later is what he's going to do.
With the biggest hat possible. Just move on around looking like Doug Dimino.
Well, I am sure that the dinner is about ready for you whenever you decide to go. It has been an absolute pleasure. If you wish, she kind of looks over to everyone. Well, we have shears and things that we can use to maybe trim some people up and get haircuts. And I know that you have had a long road in the jungles, and sometimes it is nice to be pampered and taken care of and well groomed.
Thank you, Kinsey.
Of course.
No one's really.
She kind of like snaps and waves. Yes, if you could. And she waves someone over. They have these very, very rigid kind of shears. They have like these thicker kind of brushes. They start kind of going up to whoever wants it done and just like cutting and trimming hair and like brushing out your fur if you wanted to, Moldrak. For you, they're kind of like taking the beard and it's very, very tangly. And
Where's the polish?
Probably like bits of snake still in it.
Oh god, like a tooth falls
So
on
they
it.
brush through and kind of groom it out.
No, I think this
Your
is
braids are still very, very intact, and then the rest of it just kind of very, very well kept into one direction as opposed to just kind of being all over the place. The braids are kept where they are, and then everything is just kind of pulled to that.
I'm gonna put some Bengarran style jewelry in the braids before the ceremony.
Oh, for sure. They kind of take like a small, like maybe if it's like a ring or something, and just kind of pull it tight onto the braid and tie it within it. Do it a couple times. So there's like bits of bronze that are in the beard as well now, along with like your family band and your just one for Morden or something like that. Just completely kind of decorating it on the inside. Your hair, I don't know how you want to do your hair. Like if you want it
Probably come back in like a little like man bun-esque, but like
okay, but like low bun on the backside. Yeah. Just kind of pull it back, and you do it yourself. And just kind of pull it really quickly. They do it taut. Pull it back. All right.
the boys are in town.
Beard's weird.
Beard's weird.
You never insult a dwarf on their beard.
What was that?
All right. At this point, after you got that original like first meal, you are now getting hungry as you've been waiting around, just waiting for the clothing and things to be done, and you make your way towards the back.
We're all clapping at different speeds. This doesn't work.
Fuck. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, are we going up 3 or go?
All right. At this point, you have now made your way to that central hall. You enter this large hall where there are. Oh wait, sorry. Let's skip a little bit. Now going deeper into the palace than you have been before. There's that kind of left hallway that you made your way out of, and now are entering this central hall, an entryway, and you kind of see that there are alternative like routes. Like there are these hallways that lead in opposite directions, but then they just kind of like very rigidly meet on the other side to lead into the dining hall itself. And you can see along on both of these sides there is this kind of like curve to it on the inside of the wall. Even though it's very rigid, there's just this kind of very, very faint, like right in the central part of the wall, there's just this like groove that's been carved into it. And inside of that groove there's a lot of Bengarran scripts that are like written inside of there. As you're making your way through, a lot of the scripts that you just kind of look at and read, it just says like Mular, bless us from now until the beast lands. Another one, guide me by tooth and claw so I may one day be worthy to run free in the beast lands. Strength is not in oneself, but the strength of one's tribe. There's things that are very thematic like this all throughout, just keep kind of going through. There is, like, as you're looking closer at the text, it has like this very, very faint bronze kind of engraving in it. So the text itself looks like it's very rigid and has been here for a long time, but this bronze has just been put in there to kind of clean it up and make it pop a little more. You now enter a very large hall. There are several Bengarran workers within this area at the moment. Some of them are cleaning, some setting the table. Others are standing patiently to the side waiting for some sort of an order. They're all dressed in this fine, light-colored cloth, and you can see like the walls within this dining hall are decorated with various taxidermy-type mounts. There's this large snake that's stuck in a striking position, a leopard with snake heads on the side of it that's coming down. It's kind of in this prowling position on the side. This probably being the Camden that Oscar was talking about. There's a very, very large mounted deer that's kind of on the side with this huge kind of antlers and this rack to it that are probably at least like 20 or so points on it. Like it's just enormous, and it's just kind of standing up like in this kind of peaking position. There are like probably about 8 or so of those Lumarin that are just like hanging from the ceiling mounted in like this kind of flock position flying on the side. As you enter, you also kind of towards the sides see various dinosaur type mounts. There's like raptors that are kind of like arched up and like have their mouth open like they're giving a call. There's this triceratops head that's at the back side that is probably about the size of the garage door in the center, just kind of sitting there with like the horns coming out and everything. You also can see that there are these like spinal segments from like a stegosaurus that have just been like placed along these pillars that are just kind of like built up on the sides. And then you can see that there are these, on the sides of this long table, there are these large, rigid, rectangular chairs where you will be seating or whatever. You guys kind of all step in and kind of split up a little bit towards like 3 and 3 on each side, and you just kind of walk in a little bit and are looking over everything. Or it's not 3 anymore, it's 5. Yeah. So you walk in 3 and 2.
Well, no, it'd be technically 6 because was Xander with us or no?
Andrew with you, so 5.
5.
Oh yeah, that fuck.
It's not here.
And,
So as you walk in, you just kind of walk in a way to where you're all visible and seen. Yeah. Guys. But as you walk in, you do see King Zankala is seated in this very ornate stone and bronze chair at the end of the table. He has his hands kind of on the arms of it, and the arms of it are actually these like tiger heads that are on the side with their mouth open. And then as you're looking at the actual head, you can see the arm itself is just kind of like this designed tiger that's just like coming outward. So they're like kind of like standing up in like this pose, like going out like this, and they just kind of like curve back into the chair itself. Advisor Kajad sits to that side, and along with that, the commander on the other side. Kajad and the commander, as the king kind of stands up, they also stand. Keepers, welcome, please, have a seat. He kind of gestures for you to sit. And as you sit, he kind of waits and then sits down himself. Firstly, let me thank you again for what you have done. Your deeds have saved the lives of thousands, and there is no reward or thanks that can never match that. As a small token of my appreciation, I want you to enjoy this feast in your honor. Your stories and tales and deeds that you have done will be told all throughout Azash. He kind of raises his hands up and gestures. You watch all of this people on the sides with these large platters begin walking forward. You see about probably 6 or so of these very, very large platters of just like meat, and then there's like these other smaller meats that are on the side. It doesn't look like there's like very much vegetable-based anything going on. It's just a lot of different types of meat. There's like deer, there's also some form of like a lizard, there's also like fish that is incorporated in it, that like Orem you kind of see and makes you think of Finn for a little bit as you see it, you know. And then you just kind of take a little bit of that. Standing in front of you, they take 2 of these like very, very large trays and just set them kind of down to your side. The king kind of leans forward. Gundara has told me of your appetite, much like a Bengarran. Enjoy.
Thank you.
It's a fucking Goku of our group. He just smashes. Kind of like that.
The dinner kind of goes on for a little bit. There's not much talking. Advisor Kajan and King Zankala kind of speak with each other every now and then. A little bit more time passes before King Zankala kind of gestures out to everyone. Just kind of stands up a little bit, or not stands up, but sits up a little more to where he's looking out as if he's going to say something. You all look kind of in his direction. So, Keepers, what is your next step from here? Where do your travels bring you?
Well, we met a strange guy in the jungle.
Like you do.
He is actively seeking out Borshaza.
To do what?
Well, honestly, we're not even sure. He said just wants to see him, see what he is, see what he's like.
Have you heard tales of Forzaza before?
Yes, we know it sounds completely wild, but he helped us get to the place that we needed to go.
It is honorable for you to keep your word, I guess. If you are to try and face Forzaza, I wish you luck, and the Lord bless you for it. Finding him, I've heard, is even a feat. He has attacked our very walls in the middle of day sometimes, and we have never seen him. He's a smart and cunning predator, one of which we do not even know his origin. He could be beast, maybe a reptile, something completely of that we do not know of. But it does sound adventurous and fun. There was a time before when I too had this with me, where I could go on the adventures and things before I was named king, but you know how it is. Things must be done. How is the food?
It is
Very
pretty
good.
good.
I also have something for you. I know that we do not deal in gold here very much. It seems appropriate to do, but for each of you, I have found our finest emeralds in order to show a semblance of my appreciation, and maybe you can keep them with you, or the time may come where they are of value somewhere, and can supply you with something that you need for the time being in order to complete your tasks. He kind of raises his hand up to the platform, and the servants kind of all step out, each of them walking forward. I had 6 diamonds prepared, not diamonds, but emeralds. I do see that you do have a comrade who is not here, and I did not know what happened, but
He's okay.
it is good to know. I do not need to know details, but the 6 of these emeralds are for you. They're very fine cut and pure. There are no blemishes or anything to them. You may look for yourselves, and the servants kind of on your sides set the boxes in front of you. These very basic kind of wood chests. As you open it up, there's not really a shine to it. There's not a lot of light coming down or anything, but as you open it up, it almost looks like this kind of deep green rock that's kind of in front of you. They're not shaped like like a gem in any way. They're this very kind of fractal, sitting in one spot. Almost looks like a flat stone. But as you take the top part and kind of lift it out, it does have an actual almost point to the bottom of it. But they're not extremely fine cut. But for an emerald, it's very, very nice and well kept, and there's not a lot of discrepancies or nicks or anything on the outside of it. You kind of pick it up and hold it. You'd imagine it's probably a good 3 pounds. For each one of them, they are a huge size. And you'd imagine if you find the appropriate vendor, you could get a good sum for each of them.
Okay, I'm putting pins in the bag.
And also these gems, the weight of it could be used for various spells and things like that too. So there's a lot of worth to them. And just kind of the gesture itself is.
Why don't we put it on a necklace? Does it have a chain? Fucking 3-pound chain.
Yes, thank you, King.
Thank you. You've done much, much more than I ever could have imagined possible. It is calming to me to know that there are keepers such as yourselves who would travel across oceans to help people whom you've never met. I do understand we are of your people, but for the rest of you, we are not. And that says a lot more than it does for you to travel. I do not know what you believe in when it comes to religion, but I believe you are all destined for a great place after this life. I have been king for some time now, and generation after generation of keeper has come through. none have ever stepped foot in Azash. You were the first to do so. And as I have said before, we've never really held the Keepers in high regard, but as of now we do. We respect everything that you have done and everything you stand for.
We are glad we could be of service to you.
Of course, and as I said before, when the time comes and you need to possibly require some assistance from Azash or our guest, we will not hesitate. We just must hope that the time does not come.
That's all we can do.
Is there anything I can do for you while you were in Azash?
Done enough, thank you.
Do you know the best way to get to... What is the name of the city?
Nasai. It's the Nasai Desert, the city's Nasai.
Do you know the best way about getting to Nasai?
Oh, to the desert, south of here.
Yes.
Traveling by foot is treacherous and long. If you could commandeer a ship or have someone charter to get you there, that would be a good route. The sea near the shore is much calmer than it is to go through the jungle.
Shit. Do you have a ship that might be able to take us there?
Our ships, we typically have trade ships that can go across the sea. It may be possible. There is a kind of tribe that lives along the water. They have small boats that they usually tend to take across the shore. They could possibly try to bring you down there. I don't know how far they travel though. Maybe
We came by boat. We might be able to talk to them.
if not, the port constantly has new crews that are coming in looking for work. Some of them are sent away as the work they are looking for is not very good, you could say. But I do hope that you are able to do whatever you must in Masai. Also, I know that I have already asked much from you, but if I could ask for one final request.
Anything?
He kind of nods, kind of leans back and is looking over. Pause for like 1 second. I gotta run inside. I'll be right back.
What's he going to do?
Kill us all.
Yeah. He's like, one final request. You're all gonna die. I poisoned the food.
Fuck.
And I'm like, oh no, I ate the most of the food.
Mr. Question Mark.
Take this guy with you.
Take Roshaza with you.
No,
No, we can ride him around, dude.
No.
I bet he can
I'm pretty
swim,
sure he's a
dude.
I
T-Rex.
bet he can sink it and walk.
We're fucking going to see Warshaws.
I guarantee
I'm
you.
going to ride him.
Billy said that if we find a T-Rex, I get to have it.
You know it's a T-Rex.
It probably is.
That was my
When we found his footprints, the way he described his footprints sounded like
Very T-Rexy.
very
there,
reptile.
I have it drawn.
3 like that and 1 in the back.
No, I went way too far back.
Could you imagine if we had Warshaws on our side? We'd be fucking
No, right,
unstoppable.
unbeatable, dude.
No.
This was a
The
30-foot
Oscars-
claw mark like this.
That is definitely T-Rex.
Throw that bitch in the fucking bag of holding. How do we
Yeah.
lose?
Easy clap.
Yeah.
We're gonna Pokeball. Go Warshaws!
Huge fire.
How the fuck did you get that?
And it sticks his head out. He eats it and rips the guy back.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Why is your bag growling?
No reason. Just look inside.
I'll fix it in a second.
He'll fix it in a second.
I had to go to the bathroom so bad.
Oh, did you now?
I swear on my life, I just went. Alright, so, as I was asking.
Arranging any scenarios or anything.
As I was asking you before, I have one final request. I need an Azashian brought to Ophelia, to the keep, for research purposes. He comes from a tribe of great importance within Azash, and the information he seeks is of life and death. I was hoping you could safely escort him across the sea, or at least take him with you for the time being. We are not fools, but we know much less than the scholars of across the sea, our neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you could do?
Yes.
It's not. He needs to go to the keep, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Hey, hello, King Gongal. How's it going? Good to see you, Apex. This is Apex. He is of the Drosaramin tribe.
Welcome.
Some interesting folks here. Well, odds and ends, I'd say. How's it going? Meat. Oh, I love some meat. Come go up.
Please, take a seat.
Well, mind if I do?
As I had said, this is Apex. Apex, these are the Keepers of Zaxria.
Hello, Keepers.
hello?
Name's Apex. That's my said.
Connor.
Fine, nice to meet you.
Should I use my full name? No?
Skip.
No, I was Skip.
What's his one hand? Oh. You got a big one hand? Skip. I'll get you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Moldrek?
Moldrek.
Andrew.
Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
As I said, Apex is Azashian. He comes from a tribe of great importance, and as I said, this is of life and death. So for the time being, across the sea is a long travel, so I'd imagine you could get well, associated with one another, and maybe he could come along with you for whatever it is that is next. He is very capable of taking care of himself. He has Azash in his blood.
Strong fighter.
Alright, at this point, as you look at him, you kind of see this human man, big smile on his face, this full head of light brown hair, and he has a goatee, eyes this deep blue color. He has a kind of a strong stride from when he walked in, and this joyful kind of look in his appearance. Two very distinguishable tattoos on his forearms. There's these like tribal like glyphs that go down in a straight pattern from the crease of his elbow to his wrist on both sides. He has on this tribal kind of shawl, light furs and feathers make up these kind of very small shoulder pads. Claws and teeth create this little bit of a necklace in this single harness strap that wraps around the chest. Then he carries a backpack over his shoulder. Takes a seat as he tosses the bag on the table and sits down in front of all of you. So, as I said, thank you again very much. I have business to attend to, and I'm sure you have things to do as well. Whenever you are to travel across the sea, if you have trouble doing so, the port keeper that is within the port, I'm sure you already met him. He will be able to help you. Gives a nod, stands up. Kajad stands up and walks over a little bit. Nods to everybody. Does a little bit of the Lord bless you in your travels, and hopefully your life starts Moldrek will meet in the Beastlands. Commander just stands up, gives one nod, and walks over towards the back. You guys are now sitting at the table.
No, Skip's standing on the table. Yeah, break the fucking ceremonial table and get thrown in prison. Sounds great.
Hey, alright. Well, it's pretty exciting. Always heard about the keep. Seems a real exciting place to go to.
It's pretty nice.
So,
Pretty nice.
It's
Yeah, that's like so. Well, I've heard about it at least. I've been there, of course. Been here my whole life.
Spent
I'm not here, but like,
spent a few years there.
just look into it. Really good.
say something, man. Huh?
Huh?
Yeah. Say anything?
I
something was really
whispered
weird.
to myself.
Mine isn't a word sometimes.
No, that's not good. You should get that checked at the keep. I'm sure they can.
Oh, they do that there.
He could
See,
probably,
bullshitting.
he could probably check your ears. He's actually like a medic of sorts.
I could.
I'll say that for later. I just met you. I don't want to get too into me.
It's true.
He's got a point.
What are you hoping to learn at the keep?
I got some research to do. Some information to find out. Mysterious past and all.
Right, of course, as we all do.
Well, that's one of the time. Yeah, we just met, right?
Right.
Yeah, a long time ahead of us. I'm going with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it is, but imagine it's pretty far.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's a long journey.
Speaking about just meeting, how comfortable are you with hunting for Sasha?
Excuse me?
Yeah, what's we're going after? How comfortable are we going?
No, hunting is a loose term.
That's- it's-
Following is more like it.
Seeking
Seeking.
That's better.
for Sasha.
Have you seen him? Do you know him?
Yeah, not really too familiar with him.
He's.
We don't know what heard about him a little bit.
He's a scary guy.
And you're hunting him. Yeah,
Well,
Seeking.
hunting, seeking. We're not going to try and fight him.
Maybe we will.
Well, hang on.
Ask her.
He can do that on his own. All we have to
I
do is
will
help
walk
him
away.
find him.
You know,
Then we can leave.
I have a knack or two at finding things.
Yeah.
Decent at it, I'd say.
Would probably help.
Especially if they leave some of the innards behind or something.
Blood, I think, mostly.
Hey, that's the one I would do. Yeah.
I think you'll like Oscar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think they will get along. Which one now?
That's two of them.
Oscar.
Oh, you'll love it. Yeah. Oscar?
You'd probably get along with both, but more Oscar than Oscar.
Why, you're both named Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking me.
I wish I was.
No, they're quite identical, actually.
That's very strange. I love the meeting, I guess.
We'll probably meet him tomorrow.
So, you meet him on the way to the keep. Oh, you're not going to the keep right now. Right,
Not right away.
Shaza, you just mentioned
first. Then. No, I don't know. I guess we kind of agreed to this without thinking. We weren't even heading to the keep.
that. Oh,
No, we're heading.
We could, I guess, stop
Okay.
there. It's kind of like really out of the way though.
oh, that's why you would do this. Came here. That's why I came here. Why did you tell us?
We can tell you how to get, we could draw you a map and sail you off to.
That's a little dangerous.
Yeah, if we did run into a giant monster,
Never left.
We could go,
That's,
we could go back, but
this region, so not even sure we're quite out there. To be honest
yeah,
with you.
it's like a
a
big,
lot bigger.
it's like an island, but like way bigger.
Right. Okay. You just. I got you.
It's like, I don't know, I guess that pretty much sums it up.
It's an island, but big. Yeah, no, that's it's pretty good right.
Yeah, you shouldn't do our fun then.
Oh, it's hard.
Well,
Unless you have a boat.
people who know how to use a boat.
Yeah,
Might find some of those folks, but I can't say they're not easy boat.
we have one. I don't know what other people say.
Finn
No,
did,
say
Finn did too.
Yeah, a little bit.
right on.
I was on a ship for a lot of my life, yeah.
That'll do.
So,
Alright.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm done eating at this point.
I haven't even ate. You want my
What you
portion?
doing there, bud?
Storing some food for later.
You stick food in there, it's simple bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pull that shit out later, I need it. Madman. Alright. Everyone's got their things, I guess.
Are we ready to head on our way? Or what are we doing
It's
first?
nighttime, we have to go to sleep.
Yes. Okay.
Do you have a room at the hearth? Or are you
King's
staying?
I'll probably would arrange for you.
Yeah, probably got one there. I haven't been there yet, but I imagine.
Okay.
Think you got one.
Well, that's where we're staying. You could probably stay there. I can't imagine it would be a problem.
Alright. Alright.
Well, Skip stands up. Well, we are leaving. That's pretty good. Would we leave now? I don't know if it is. Is there? Is it just us in
The
here?
king already left.
Oh well,
Yeah.
we can.
We could have left 5
We could.
minutes ago.
That's true. We could have done that. Well, Well, are we going?
Yeah.
All right. I wouldn't want to sleep on the table. So, please.
Highly disrespectful.
I would imagine.
Get up and start walking out.
Alright. So, as you guys all begin walking towards the tavern, find your way over there and get some rest. You wake up the next day. The sun is pretty high. You can feel that it's a pretty warm day.
I wanted
in
to
Outcast.
do something at night.
Okay.
Alright. So, Orem doesn't sleep. And this was about to be a serious moment. I'm just laughing. He starts to reflect about everything he's gone through since he went to the keep. You know, he's lost 2 friends, 3 technically. He thinks about Gorak and Shadow and Finn and Connor technically dying. His father, the Draugr King. He feels uneasy about his entire experience so far. I mean, when he signed up for the keep, he didn't know what he actually wanted to do. He didn't know how severe his journey would actually be. I mean, he wants to do better, but I just feel like there's like this creeping dread that's been following us since the beginning, and he feels like it's just getting worse. He prays to Moradin, but he knows it's not going to be enough to get this feeling done with, and he starts to become more cautious as the journey progresses.
Okay. Anything specific you want to say to Moradin?
No, just
okay. Alright. So, some of you sleep a lot better than others. You find yourselves now awake in the tavern. You all make your way down at separate times to the space below. Food is made for you. Everybody, including Apex and Andrew, are now at a table.
Morning, fellas. Have a good night, rest.
Pretty good.
Stupid, like earlier than ever.
Look
He would
like
have
a
left.
log.
Not even eat. He would have just left. I was going to go pray for the morning, and then stayed out there until everyone woke up and come back when everyone's eating.
Got it.
Tried the ale here. It's really sweet.
I don't think I've had it yet, to be honest.
Pretty good. Could we get the two porch ale, please?
Certainly, give me a second. A little bit of time passes. Kundara makes her way over, has 2 of the drinkers, sits them down. Enjoy. Also, Oscar was here looking for you. I think he is over towards the bar at the end there. It's whenever you're ready. I won't send you directly.
Thank you.
She kind of smiles and heads back to the bar.
It's not bad, actually. I know they get all this stuff on from, so
Yeah.
it's quite nice, actually.
Ooh, slow down there,
Oh.
killer.
Oh, sorry about that. It tastes really good, to be honest.
You can have another one, but we got a lot of travel ahead of us. You might not want to.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. I'll stick with the one. I'll pace myself.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's get drink 6. No. Put a fucking walking keg now, guys.
Oscar!
Hey!
Over here!
Oh! Alright. Kind of starts walking over, gets over to the table.
This is Oscar.
Hey! How's it going, everyone? A little hitch in the plan.
Hitch in the plane.
Lost him,
Yeah.
didn't you?
I didn't lose him. I just don't know exactly where he's at.
Oscar?
If that makes
That's
sense.
a
I know
good
where the last tracks were, though. If we get to there, I know I can find it.
Alright.
It's just about 4 or 5 days from here.
Alright, if you say that's where we need to go.
Hey, new fella.
Hey, how's it going, mate?
This is a new
He
guy.
just
He
joined last
kind of
night.
takes his hand out. Oscar.
Yeah, Apex, you can call me Apex.
That's Oscar, too.
I'll see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I walk over and I just kind of like take up the I go like that. I shove my shoulder.
Oscar. Yeah. Right here.
He's a seven.
How's it going, Oscar? Oscar?
You're from Azash, eh?
Hey, cool. Far really far down south.
You recognize the accent?
Oh god, it's
Like
like
not a lot of us.
3 of them now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, whenever you're ready, we can get out here. I've got just a little bit of things to get from the fires, and then we're ready to go.
Okay.
I'll meet you at the gate.
Yep.
All right.
Did you get those potions?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my fancy clothes off.
Yeah, I put my armor back on when I woke up.
Alright. Let's get it going, eh?
Do you have all the supplies you need?
Yep, it's all in my bag.
Alright, let's go. Everyone good?
When we walk out of the place, I'm just gonna kind of just snap my fingers and make a warhorse appear.
Skip takes his hand forward, snaps. Yellow energy fabricates a large horse in front of him.
The least viable thing for the jungle, he always summons it.
There's no horse in existence.
Can't.
You can try and sit on it if you want.
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
put my arm down. Would you want to try to get
I'm
up?
a little terrified right now, to be honest. I think he's some sort of wizard or something.
I just look at it and
No, he's a wizard.
A wizard?
he does magic.
He said no.
Oh, that's right, he's not the wizard. No, our wizard left, that is right.
Okay. Gotcha.
He's gone right
So
now.
what's he then? He's created a horse. He's not a wizard, but what is he? Hey, what does he do?
He's a medical guy.
I'm a paladin.
Oh, alright. I don't really know too much what that means, but
It's,
alright.
no, I don't know.
He's a medical.
Magic.
He heals. He protects. He's like a very, very hearty fellow.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I get behind that.
Takes a lot of damage for us so that we can hit things.
Oh, alright. So, some of my arrows coming my way, I'll just hide behind you.
Yeah, that is the general idea.
Audit, yeah. Tactics in mind already, you know?
Yeah.
Tactics. It's all you need in a fight. We learn that in class. Alright, are we moving now?
Yeah, you guys have been walking. You guys are walking.
Alright, that's okay.
We can just assume anytime you have to be somewhere and you talk beforehand, you're just talking on the way.
Yeah.
Safe to say? Okay.
For the most part.
Yeah, we're always walking and talking.
Unless we're figuring out
You
where
guys
we're
aren't
sitting.
actually sitting.
Just like sitting there.
Everybody understands how D&D works.
We do.
Okay, just making sure.
We're just standing outside the gate.
We're not
Right
actually a bunch of weird people just sitting at a table making voices, right?
We're blocking the tavern doors. We got up, but we're just standing there.
Yeah, I'm on a horse inside the tavern. Just
Alright, once you make your way to the front gate, Oscar is probably only about 2-3 minutes after you guys makes his way up over there. Has a small little pouch that he throws and kind of ties to his belt. Kind of taps it. Alright, ready when you are.
Alrighty.
Or, like I said, 5 days, and then we're right where I left off.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a journey 2 days out of the Land of Giants. We're not going to go there though, because we don't really need to.
Okay.
But we are going to be close enough to where there may be some little stragglers of dinosaurs.
Okay.
So, like I said before, anything that happens to you is not my fault. Just the medical tracker, the expeditionist, survivalist, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Seems to be pretty good.
He's okay.
Oscar's a little bit
he knows his way. He knows his way around the jungle.
A little bit familiar with it, but I mean, he's a master.
Knowledge. Alright, here we go.
They are the same person.
Yep, let's go.
He starts walking and making his way a little further.
Through the gate.
As he gets out of the gate into the actual jungle, he's pretty calm for the first 2 days. The first 2 days he is just whistling, walking through the jungle, talking back and forth with everybody, just having small talk. There's even several periods of time where he just kind of stops and, he seems alright. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I told you they were not, they don't teach you. They mention you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Skip was look, he's right here. Go on, go. Yeah, alright. Anyway.
I didn't see anything. That is wiped from my memory. Don't worry about it.
There's more.
There's more.
Oh, there's more. Just wait.
Why is everyone look so uncomfortable?
It's
I'm on a horse that's glowing.
Just tell your
That
people.
horse is really
Yeah.
strange, I'm gonna be
Very,
honest.
very strange horse.
You're scaring this new guy.
Good.
Keep the horse away from me. I don't know what's scrape of blood.
I telepathically tell the horse to just look at him while it's walking.
You can tell it's not looking at me.
It stops looking. It doesn't like you talking about it.
Horse got a name?
Horse.
I've never thought of name. You're supposed to name horses?
I don't know, it just seemed appropriate. You said him like it had a name.
Yeah, you
It.
did say him.
It. How is that better? It.
His name's It. That's kind of fucked up.
No, it's not it.
It was a him, now it's an it.
No. Oh, Lord.
Alright, anyway.
Raphael, help me.
We'll just keep going. I don't know about that guy.
Alright, so at this point, you are now within the jungle. Pretty deep, too. You are nearing what you would imagine to be not quite the land of giants, but the outskirts of the land of giants. You hear the sounds of jungle creatures. There are birds, insects at night. There's the occasional, kind of low groan in the distance that you'd imagine is some sort of a dinosaur of pretty large size. All of you kind of looking at Apex every now and then, not really sure what to think. He's not hard to read or easy to read. He just.
Do you have any weapons on you?
He's not carrying any weapons. The only thing he has with him is a backpack. Just kind of thrown over his shoulder, kind of sitting there, walking around. He has very, very light clothing on. Normal kind of they're leather, maybe cloth type leggings. That very, very tribal kind of shawl. His skin's kind of a little darker, although it is of a kind of fair complexion. You can definitely tell that he lives within the jungle to some capacity. He has these kind of open-toed sandals on. His kind of demeanor, though, is very, very joyful and kind of uppity and very, very nice, and doesn't really seem to have any sort of aggression or any anger. Very playful and joking a lot. Nothing about him really makes you shun him off or think anything twice about it. Especially traveling the last 3 or so days with him and camping at night. And right now in this moment you are camping kind of by a fire. You hear the sounds of the jungle. Oscar's alright, I'll take first watch. If anybody wants it after me, you're more than welcome to.
I'll take it. I only have to sleep for 4 hours.
So do
Alright, yeah, after me. I'll let you know.
I shut down.
Everyone else rest up. Alright. Skip,
Yes.
as you are resting, your rest goes from this.
No sun, no sleep, no fuck.
Your rest goes from this awareness of things around you to the sounds of everything around you beginning to fade. You hear this kind of roar in the distance or this screech that just kind of fades out, and you know that's just normal within the jungle, and you kind of try to focus a little more on your surroundings, but can feel yourself kind of narrowing away and slowly losing focus of everything around you. Get silent. Your vision kind of goes dark before it's met by this kind of very, very, very bright kind of a glow or some form of energy. Your eyes kind of open. You start looking around and can see that there are probably about 5 or 6 steps that are leading into a kind of modern looking house. You can see that there is stonework on the outside, but the ground still looks like it has a very, very faint yellow glow to it.
I walk up to the house and I just.
As you walk up and kind of knock a couple of times, come on in. Open the door up and walk inside. As you kind of turn the handle and look, your hand's human. You turn and open it all the way. Kind of take a couple of steps inside. As you step inside, you can see there is a very, very familiar kind of interior. An interior of kind of another dream you had before of walking into being in this kind of full kind of soldier attire and like gear. You walk in, and as you step in, you can see there's a woman, the same woman that you saw in the dream before, kind of standing there, kind of looks over. Timothy, what are you doing here?
Huh?
You're supposed to be on duty right now.
What? I don't... Who is Timothy?
As you speak, you start to notice your voice is kind of a little deeper and not as this kind of like very soft tone. Are you alright?
I'm perfectly fine. I don't know who Timothy is, though.
She kind of like reaches over and takes your hand, and as you look down, it's human again. You don't feel the touch though. You're just kind of seeing everything. She kind of pulls you over to like a mirror on the side and kind of points up and points at the mirror. As you look over towards the mirror, where the face is, it's kind of blurred. You can see hair that's kind of pulled back like a dark brown, but the features on the face are blurred. There's a very, very fine cut kind of goatee. You can see that you have on this kind of soldier type attire. She goes, "You're Timothy, silly. Look. Are you feeling well?" She kind of, you see the hand go up towards your forehead, but you don't feel it.
I don't know. I'm not... I don't remember any of this. My name's not Tim. My name is Skip. What do you...
She kind of reaches forward and the hand goes up towards the shoulder. Maybe you should get some rest for now.
I think that would be best.
She kind of brings you over to like a bed, and you lay down, brings over some like food and stuff and sets it on the side. At this point, your vision kind of fades a little bit. You start to like blink, and then the vision like opens back up to the same room. You're kind of laying on your side, your hand outstretched. You can see that your arm itself is like losing color to it. You can see that the veins are like this kind of deep green color. You're kind of coughing a little bit. You can feel, well, not feel, but you can like hear yourself coughing, and like the arm itself looks like it's weak, the way that it moves. The table that was in front of you that had food on it, from when you close your eyes and open them, it's like you're in a different time, but the same place. As you're looking, there's several medicines and like vials and all sorts of other things that are on the table itself. The woman that you've seen before several times has like a mask on her face, not like a kind of doctor's mask, but just like this very, very basic cloth that's over her mouth. She reaches forward and sets your head up, pours a little bit in, and set your head down. I'll be right back. Just need to check on you. And she turns around and starts walking to the other side of the room, where you see from before in your similar like dreams, that little girl that was in there with the kind of long blonde hair that's just kind of laying in the bed across. You can see that her face kind of has like one of those deep green veins coming up the side of the cheek as she's laying there, kind of. The woman walks over and begins to kind of pour the liquid into her mouth. You go to sit up for a second, and then as you sit up, as you're sitting up, you go from the bed and kind of like blinking, and then as you're fully set up in the same position you were when you fell asleep, your eyes kind of open, and then you look and you're in the jungle again.
Actually, another dream. Dream within a dream.
And everyone's sleeping still.
Skip, you alright? It's your turn, buddy. Kind of taps you on the chest. Walks and goes and lays down. You good? You alright? You don't want to like fall asleep and not wake up. You can see what I'm saying.
Yeah, fine.
Kind of rolls over. Good night. Okay. Just head down.
I need to get to Yungles as fast as I can. And just sit and watch. Think to myself mostly.
Alright. Alright. Everybody wakes up in the morning, fully rested. Spell slots, hit points restored.
Just kind of got the 1,000-yard stare. Just like staring off into the jungle, just sitting there, still thinking.
More stretches. Yeah. King saddle. From the body.
Jungle floor.
It's a little rough. Good go, eh?
Yeah, everything's right. Everyone good? Yep.
Go. Should be good.
Alright, here we are.
I do find Steed again.
What's that?
I do find Steed again.
Okay. So, where you had rested, I think I may have said it wrong, but you're only about a few hours or so from where you are wanting to be. You had to rest just because of the darkness and it being like getting closer to night, and don't want to travel within that, so you start making your way deeper into the jungle. At this point, the surroundings are pretty familiar to you. Everything for everybody else, although it is familiar, is still very like similar all over the place. Like everything still kind of looks the same, but it's like, oh, like this kind of looks like the way that these trees are and the way that the grass is and these rocks. Like this looks like somewhere I've been before, but you get that feeling a lot when you're walking through here. In the distance, you hear several like groans and kind of light roars. Nothing too alarming, but you know that you are pretty close to the Land of Giants. It's very similar to when you had first kind of arrived, where you heard them as you got closer and closer. You know that you're probably only about 2 days or so from the actual Land of Giants. So there are probably some, remnants of like outskirts and dinosaurs that are kind of moving throughout there. But you make your way, behind Oscar, following his lead. And he stops at a certain point. There is a pretty decent clearing where you can see, and immediately, like a couple of you looking, those of you that are kind of keen to things like this and perception, notice that the grass is like kind of keeled over. There is a tree that is not like completely snapped and fallen over, but there's a good sized branch on it that has been broken off. It's like on the side. There's a rock that's been pushed deeper into the ground, and you can only tell that because there's like a little bit of water that's on it, as well as it's like pushed into the surface, and all that moisture is kind of pushed up on top of it as well. So just sitting here, Oscar's kind of like looking, kind of has his eyes on everything and is looking at all those things that you guys are also kind of picking up on. Alright, well, last I left him, he's heading in that direction. The reason I can tell is because that branch is broken, kind of off that way. If you're looking at what I'm looking at, he's kind of snapped it as he's going off this way. There was a little bit of a blood trail back there, but I'm not really too keen on going after that right now, as it does me no good as it's dried. But, for the most part, this here is what I'm working on. I feel like if he's done this, he's probably got... I don't see any tracks anywhere, as he's been stepping on things that don't leave much of a semblance of one. The rock here and all this other stuff, but...
You sure that's his blood back there?
Yeah. I picked up on two different kind of blood trails. The one from the Brontosaurus that he had killed and slain. That kind of trailed off as he took parts of it and had ingested them. That disappeared for a little while, and then as I was still following it, I had a little bead on his tracks, and then the blood kind of picked up as if he'd maybe nicked it on something. Not a lot of blood, maybe a small cupful.
Oh, tell me what's that. I'll be out with it.
Point in the direction and then get back over here, so yeah.
Not gonna take too long, just gotta find the one, that's all.
Yeah, certainly it's... He kind of takes his hands somewhere in here.
Oh, alright, yeah.
Like this tree here,
It's most of the...
between probably the rock somewhere a little before that tree, and then he takes probably about 5 steps forward and puts like a little scuff in the ground, and then starts like making a little bit of a perimeter. Grabs a couple of sticks, starts putting down somewhere within here. So it's probably a good 25 to 30 foot circle that he is kind of
Try to sniff out the blood.
Yes, go ahead and make a survival check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yes.
Skip's just, he's in his own head.
Well, it wasn't very good to begin with. I got a 2 and a 3, but that still puts me at 10.
10? Okay. As you're kind of sniffing around, like, Your nose is not as keen as your eyes and your ears, so you're kind of like giving like a little bit of a sniff as best you can. You gotta get towards the ground and can't really pick up on anything. There's like this very, very kind of musty, almost like jungle floor type of smell that covers up a lot of scents that are on the ground. You pick up on probably like a jerboa or something that you just kind of like, that's not it, because you can smell the fur or something on it, and you kind of walk back over towards where Oscar and everything is, and he's like, hey, good luck, we'll be back over here. Kind of takes a seat back and goes back over towards where everybody else is kind of standing. You guys can see Apex kind of towards the back where that circle is, but are not like, I mean, you can totally stare at him if you want, but you're just like seeing him towards the back of the group, probably only about 20 or so feet behind, and then Oscar's just kind of like in front of you guys explaining like, he's got to be in that direction. There's a large kind of cliff type area, and not too much is going past that, so I'd imagine if he's got a den, it's probably within there. Our best bet's going to be to either maybe lure him out of there, or try to take him head on inside.
We are not fighting the beast. We are examining it.
I just want to see what he's worth.
Last time I fought something that was gigantic, I ended up almost halfway down its throat.
Well, look, if Borsaza kills me and you guys live, just let everyone know that
You died.
Borsaza killed me.
What about Oscar?
Oscar?
Yeah, what about it?
He's not going down without me, I know that for sure.
You got that right. You guys seem very close, is what I meant.
Famous last words.
You know, he gets on my nerves a little bit sometimes, but
Sorry, sounds like Ander.
Find anything over there, Apex?
Oh yeah, still looking for it. Yes.
Alright.
Oh, a vague general area.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
shrubbery and stuff.
I couldn't sniff it out.
Took my best with my eyes.
Maybe I'll try looking.
you want to make a survival check?
It might be shit.
Skip still just.
Yep. That was a bad day.
Yep, that's not it. I smelled the monkey shit.
You guys ever tasted shit before?
I didn't taste it, but I definitely put my nose near it.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
You sniffed shit and you didn't let me know it was there.
I didn't think you would run into it. You sounded like you were an expert.
I'm not an expert. Oscar's the expert.
Master tracker.
He's a master. Yeah, that's right.
You could be an expert, I don't know.
No, I'm not the expert. Sorry.
Alright.
You got the wrong guy.
Yep, fair enough.
Alright. Yeah, what am I doing here?
Just wipe the shit off.
What am I making?
You're wiping the shit out of your mouth.
Let's see, 16.
16. Okay. As you kind of kneel down and begin to do your best to find some semblance of the blood, you do find it. It is dried up. Not too dry though, as the moisture of the floor kind of keeps it intact in such a way. But there is probably a good like drop of blood that has just kind of splashed out a little bit. Probably about the size of a baseball.
So no one's here with me? No watching? So I'm not going to explain what I do with it then. So
Yep. Gotcha.
fucked it and what do I need to do with it?
Gotcha. Alright. As you guys are all standing here, taking a moment as Oscar is here, kind of looking over everything, you guys take out a drink of water or some food.
I come up to Oscar.
Uh-huh.
Oscar, are you willing to
You slammed that book.
use magical help to help you on your search for more son?
Don't see why not. That's kind of what
Right.
I had imagined when I had asked you guys to come along.
Here. I use enhance ability. The wisdom one is the Eagle's Thunder, right?
Owls, something.
Owl's wisdom.
Owl's wisdom. I use Owl's wisdom on
Equals
to give
splendor
him.
is intelligence.
Alright.
You should be able to just find him a little easier now.
Kind of starts looking around. Looks down.
I'm going to way back over. Yeah, got it, guys. Yeah, we're all good here.
You love it?
Yeah. We'll get more familiar with what shows now. I'll really help you a little bit better.
Alright. You know where he's at?
Man, it's not just from that little bit.
Oh.
I am getting close.
Okay.
As Oscar kind of leans down and is like looking, sees the branch that's kind of like broken off to the side, and is like kind of pointing in that central direction. Kind of ducks down, just looking over. Yeah, all right, okay. Pretty close to what I expected. It did help a little bit. It's still got a little bit of that meat with it, for some reason. Because he kind of goes over and picks up a little bit of like grass or something and like ducks down. There's a little bit of meat here. He kind of picks it up and takes it. I imagine it's some sort of dinosaur meat by the way that it's something like that. Whether I eat it or anything, but it just doesn't seem like anything I've ever seen before. It's almost, is it?
You literally eat anything. I'm surprised you didn't eat that out of your
Can I familiarize myself with the scent?
It's definitely just like smelling it. It doesn't have like a very gamey kind of scent to it, like you would imagine like a deer or maybe like a jerboa would have.
Okay.
And the meat itself is extremely, extremely tough. Like it's tender. You kind of take it, dig a tooth into it, and can feel like, oh yeah, like that is a very tough, large creature that is from.
It is tough as hell, whatever it is.
Gotta be.
You're not gonna be able to chew on this if you don't have Warshaza teeth.
Right. I'm telling you, we're one step closer. You can see Oscar kind of getting a little antsy. We're right on his trail.
Well, let's follow it.
That's what I am.
Pretty exciting.
Keep going.
Yeah, all right. Starts making his way out. Gets over. At this, you guys are now traveling after this little trail or scent or track that you've been on now for about 2 hours or so. You can see Oscar is like wired and like looking all over the place. His head is like back and forth. He's looking up and down everywhere he can, trying to see everything that he can. Gets to a point where he kind of ducks down behind like a clearing of like brush and stuff, and like looks back towards everyone. Everyone just
Pulled
ducks
up. I
down,
take the fur and it's kind of like.
ducks down. Ducks down.
I'm lost. I did not know what you said.
Did he just talk with his hands?
Can you get rid of the glowing horse?
That's right.
I'm so lost.
5 raptors.
There is
5 raptors on a corpse.
right?
Wait, really?
Hey, what do we do about it?
Kill him?
Let him pass.
He ducks down a little bit as like his arm kind of went above.
Are you saying that Rorschach is going to smell the corpse the raptors have possibly come here? Oh, that's not that easy, Dan. I gotta know. We need the corpse.
So we gotta kill the raptors. I can do that.
Oh shit, this is getting real quick here.
I grab the blade between my hands, and I just kind of coat it in a branding spike, and I just kind of wait.
Kind of like the 5 of you, all of you at the same time. Like everyone just kind of peeks up over the little bit of brush to where if you were on the other side, you would just see everybody's eyes like looking. As you look over, you can see that there are 5 raptors that are there. There is this large, kind of, almost like a leg. Very, very meaty, very, very thick and large. It's actually the bottom half of like a brontosaurus leg that is sitting here. 2 of them are on the top of it, like biting and tearing into it, ripping it.
Just like shoo them
I've never felt the knives.
If you had a piece of meat in your hand, and someone said, hey, shouldn't bleed. That's what they do.
Okay, I think I understand.
I can't use without. No, it's on my blade. I'm gonna use without hesitation. Just like, can I touch it?
It still hurts. Still very painful. These things are savage destroyed. So if somebody goes down, they're just gonna tear them apart. They're not gonna be like, oh, you're down on the ground, I'm going for the next one. They will rip you apart.
Can you take one?
I don't have the flesh. They don't care about that. They're predators. They're out here trying to get rid of anything that's in their territory. Something big and shiny like a light, just like this light running at them. They're not gonna like that.
Good. That's our leg, not theirs.
They're not going anywhere after that. It's completely gone. And if I had to take a guess, they could probably call some more of their friends along with them.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I don't know dinosaurs.
It's up to you guys. We can totally just walk along, but I think we might be able to use that like little source of help.
How bad do you want the leg?
I don't want the leg for some of the problem does, but I think we could use the leg. If you don't want to use the leg though, we could totally just go around. You got bugs. See what you do. Don't whistle. Don't whistle.
I think I just shit my britches, to be honest. It's terrifying.
I've never seen these things.
Oh, no, I'm from it.
No? Let's get grab this holy symbol and just kind of like whispers a prayer.
Great problem. He scared them away.
Oh. I could help scare them away.
If we can do that, it works for me.
I think I could probably do this.
It would. Can you do that?
I'll have something.
Like hard.
What if that doesn't work? Hey, what dinosaurs are scared of thunder? Well, you're the master.
I know that dinosaurs are scared of full size, huh? That's about it.
I know, of course.
If we all jump at the same time, it might sound loud enough that's like no shot.
I like the creativity, but I'm going to go with it now.
No, it's just worth a try.
Yeah, it was worth a try.
So, can you grab this? I don't
Try and scare them or go around.
Fireball.
I reach towards the ground and create 3 magic stones.
Okay.
And I want to fire them in rapid succession up past the raptors and hit a tree on the other side.
Okay. Just make a spellcaster check. Like you're rolling a hit.
Okay.
He's gonna tell me the raptors see where they come from.
18.
I want to fight a raptor. I haven't got to do that yet.
Connor stands up. Ducks back down. You guys actually hear blood on the other side, just like a quick. Two of them kind of, you hear them plop down from the top of the leg and then walk over towards the tree.
Congrats, you made raptors smell a tree.
They smell around it. The two of them kind of run into the jungle a little bit. The other 3 just kind of like, one of them steps on top of the leg. Kind of in this like upright position looking.
Take them out.
Is it like an open space?
Where they're at?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty open.
Okay. I weave a sign into the air and I cast Call Lightning.
Okay.
One guy.
Skip runs up.
I'm the one
No,
that's
he
on
doesn't.
top.
That's
Put the one on top of the leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, lightning rods.
As Moldrek kind of leans up, takes his hand forward, and then goes to like slam it down on top of the raptor. We're gonna pick it up there next week.
Oh! Anything you want to say before I close this out?
Nope. Just see you next week.
Bye!